game is going to be between England and Netherlands. England's playing Crane, sorry, and Netherlands playing Phoenix. We're gonna go really, really quickly through the two deck lists. So on one side we have Crane on Kyuden Kakita, Splash being Scorpion, which is interesting, with 3 making Formant, 1 Collector, and 2 Cloning in favors. The restricted being Policy Debate. We have 1 Censure, 2 Story Defeats, which are and 2 Game of Settlement. That's an interesting choice. Then we have a Kakita Blade and 2 Letters from the Daimyo, which is like already a bit deck defining. On the other side, we have an Azahina Artisan, which might support the 2 clouds. 3 Shigeru, that's original, 3 makers of Keepsake, 3 Takamori, and then the rest is pretty standard, like there isn't much surprising thing. It's a bit surprising to have that many duel and not the Proving Ground, but yeah, why not? And the Phoenix deck is on Kyuden Izawa, Seeker of Void, Splash being Lion, so it's 3 hand-to-hand, 3 My Ancestor Strength. So that just tells that it's very likely a charge but My Ancestor Strength deck. We have 1 Chirurgeon Curse, 1 Seal of the Phoenix, a lot of conflict characters, 1 Assassination, restricted being charged. We still have 1 Consume, a Karmic Twist. That's interesting. Only 1 Storm. And on the Dynasty side, we have like 3 Bustling Academy that goes with the Scholar. We have the 3 Fuchichos for the charge, 3 Kudeka, and we have some Uranus. That's interesting to go with the Walking the Ways. There's 3 Adzunemis. That's also an original choice. Okay, and I'm gonna give the players to go because I don't want to keep them longer. I already have had a few issues to set up the stream, so I have asked them to wait before going. Just checking that stream is recording. Yeah, it is. And I'm actually going to catch the chat somewhere else so that I can interact with you if needed. Okay, so there they go. So now Crane being the first player, so Crane is playing for England and Phoenix is playing for Netherlands. Both are Seeker of Void. I guess they both, yeah, Phoenix has, I think, Shameful and Kurimori. Oh no, it's Pilgrimage and Kurimori, and Crane has Shameful and Pilgrimage, likely. Yeah. So 3 cards mulligan on each side from the Dynasty. 1 for the Phoenix, oh, and 1 for each player also in the conflict decks. So Crane flips a Shigeru and a Maker of Keepsakes. I don't even know what that card does. Cannot receive dishonored steps token. Okay, that's interesting. So it's a 3/3 that can't be dishonored. And Phoenix flip a Sage of Kizaito Shie, Nishikin Ishikawa. Inquisitive Ishikawa, pardon, sorry, and Solemn Scholar. Yeah, I don't know what you play as Phoenix there. Yeah, for Crane, their choice is pretty straightforward. So we have a Solemn Scholar, so Crane, yeah, gonna pass here for sure. Phoenix also passes. Okay, he has a lot of conflict characters in the deck, so that's probably quite safe to pass here. Discarding the Palace using the Academy, well, that's a very good choice. Yeah, it's actually pretty good how the Bustling Academy can control your opponent Dynasty flop or sometimes just improve yours based on the fact you have a Scholar. Like it's really good. And the deck has a few of them. Bowing the Maker of the Keepsakes. Oh, that guy is a Shugenja. Okay, that's interesting. Because then the Crane turns looks pretty bad. Like, I guess Phoenix can just like go Earth, and if he has a conflict character and finds Magistrate Station, that's probably a break. Unless Crane has something to forbid that, but what were the character? Yeah, 3 meek and 1 collector, that's not very punchy. Like if you go military and you have a boost, there is only a collector that could jump, and that doesn't sound very good. Um, not courtiers, so the favorable ground is probably not doing anything for you. Yeah, I'm really not that fond of the cards. It's like in the Phoenix matchup, it's totally dead. And in many of the matchups, not so good. I cannot receive Dishonor status token. It's not that awesome. I mean, apart from Scorpion, of course. Which Crane is having huge difficulties to deal with at the moment, so maybe that's the reason behind this choice. We see a Voice of Honor checked from the Earth Ring, so that's a pretty good shot, I guess. I know as Crane you can only pass your second conflict because you don't have characters. Unless you have a conflict character, but I mean, like, do you really want to jump a conflict character here? I'm really not sure about that. Yeah, both player passing their second conflict. I think as Phoenix here, you're pretty happy to have found the Manicured Garden because like the three other provinces are Shameful Display, Pilgrimage, and Magistrate Station. So there actually is literally nothing that you can farm apart from the Manicured Garden. You want to see the Crane deck? Yeah, of course. That's the Crane deck. I'm not gonna let it long, so if you can just like pause your stream and have a look at it. Actually, all the decks are fully accessible online on the spreadsheet from the World Cup. You can just like look at the one you want. Crane side, we have a much better flip than the previous one. I guess you would just play Paragon there. And Fennec is playing his Sage of Kisatoshi, which he had kept from the previous turn. That's a very good character to stall the conflicts. Like you just put him in a conflict, and then if you have more glory, both participants go back home if there was only one in the conflict. And the thing is, yeah, I know, Jared, that's what I said. Just want it to be convenient. Um, yeah, it's very good against especially the Paragon of Grace because like you can just send him back home if it's the last conflict. So Crane now has to put it into the first conflict. Otherwise, you just send it back home. Which actually isn't a big deal because Crane was very likely going to put it in the first conflict anyway. First in defense or in attack doesn't matter. In one conflict where the Sage isn't. Both player drawing 5, so that's, yeah, no surprises in that. Phoenix did got an additional card from the library. You've got a list with all the decks on the Discord leaked spreadsheets. If I can find it quickly, I will give it to you. I think it's that one. Yeah, it's this one, I think, and then you have you need to go into the World Cup tab, and you have all the players and the deck lists. So we see Phoenix going in with the Solemn Scholar, so Crane is logically defending with the Paragon of Grace, which means that it's safe from getting back home from the Sage of Kisatoshi. Both debating, so that's one card that is going to get removed. Crane did pay 2 honor of that though. And what? Oh, 3 court games. Okay, interesting. There's a Nino. There's the Curse also, but you wouldn't like to play that right now. The Camion List. Yeah, the seal that I know. Oh, yeah, it's to give scholars so that the Bustling Academy works in the worst case. Don't know what you throw away there. Like maybe there's 2 conflict characters, so throwing away the Shrine isn't that good. A display of power, yeah, that's a good choice. I think my choice would have been either the display or the Nino here. Playing against the waves to bow the Shugenja again, yeah. Oh, and voice consoles it. That's good. That was a risk, definitely. And he was sure voice couldn't be consoled because he saw the hand without any censure in it. But then, yeah, you just replay it with the stronghold, right? Actually, you play one with the stronghold and then you play the again. Yeah. Sorry, one order for me. Actually, as Crane, I'm not sure playing that voice was a good idea because like you knew Phoenix had all those against the waves. Like it means he will have less to use later on his own characters. But yeah, that okay. The keepsake being a Shugenja and being therefore weaker against Phoenix also means that you have a cloud, so that allows to forbid the Kami Unleash to trigger. Um, yeah, it's good. It's not awesome. Like I I don't even real. Yeah, you might have honored the Sage of Kizatoshi, but like, was that really worth using the Kami Unleashed? I'm not sure. So there we see a Storm, Katana to answer that. So Defender is still getting the best of the situation here, I think. And the Phoenix has to pass, yeah. It's it's a lot of cards invested for Phoenix that were one-shot cards, where Crane actually used cards that gave him a long-term-ish advantage. The Mick doesn't see anything new because he saw the hand with the policy debate, but it gives him a conflict for one fate, which I think is good. Void isn't a good ring. Yeah, you would go water, I guess, trying to stand your Paragon. That's what I would do, I think. Air isn't that interesting. Yeah, definitely. Okay, he's going Void. That's interesting. Like, you're going to remove a fate from the Master of Zatoshi, but like, he still has three. So it's going to be two and then one at the end of the turn. Yeah, it's good, but like, I think water was better. Sure, because you still have a conflict. So maybe he has another character in hand, like the Scorpion. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. So here the Phoenix plays one of the three court games. Yeah, it's good. He's gonna draw a card with the Fatal Fields, and then okay, Crane answers was another court game so that the voices remain alive. I'm not sure you can win that conflict, and the Sage just sends everyone back home. So yeah, it was worthless anyway investing cards in this conflict because the Sage would have triggered. I'm not even sure why the Phoenix did actually trigger the Sage. Like, well, yeah, sure, it gives you a conflict in attack, so it's good. Yeah. So you get a card from the Fatal Fields, and then I guess you either swing back. Oh, maybe the Crane has another Make Informant actually. No, he prefers to pass. So I guess as the Phoenix player, either swing Void to remove a Fate from the keepsake. Air, you could pressure a bit, but it's not like super good, but you get a Fate. Water stands your character, which is not super useful because like your opponent only has military conflict left, and he has a dash character. So. Yeah, I agree, Dunzo. Like Crane doesn't have a significant board here. Like he's having trouble getting a character in like he's having trouble contributing in more than two conflicts every time. So. But he has some fate for next turn, so I guess he probably will be able to play some stuff. Gizatoshi stage has triggered, so now it's like I guess the Meek is just going to defend that. It's like there is no reason not to defend it. And Crane is going to not get a fate out of that because it's already been done. Yeah, in the end, that turn wasn't so good for Phoenix, right? Because like he got a card, which is good, but he also spent a few cards in a not so efficient way. Okay, maybe he's going to neutered Voice of Honor. That would be good. But apart from that, like the board situation has turned into Crane's favor, and Crane has piled more fates. Oh, he breaks though, yeah, because of the okay, yeah, well that's good then. If you get the break because of the court games, it's fine. I'm being very slow today. I'm sorry. Yeah, Crane doesn't have the one-off military conflict character that would have allowed him to do another conflict sense. And Phoenix is going to replace. Oh, Kudeka. I think that's good. Like you just play her next turn. It's going to be a good target for you against the waves. Unless he wants to look for something more interesting and throw her away during the regroup phase. Fushisho is good here. There's nothing in the discard though that really deserves being brought back. So I guess you charge him only if you don't. Okay, he's discarding it. Interesting. Yeah, for my ancestor strength, probably. Yeah, that could be a 6 political strength naive student. Could be good for 2 fate. Yeah, sounds reasonable. So Crane played the second Paragon of Fate. That starts to be a bit annoying for Phoenix. Like that will be a lot of discarded cards, and if he plays the third Paragon on the next one, then on the next turn, then that oh he could actually just play that turn, and then it's going to be really really annoying for Phoenix because like I don't know what do you do there? You bid 5, and you just get your hand smashed away, or you bid 1 and you still get your hand smashed away, and you don't have any cards left to play, or you just play all your cloud mines. Phoenix does run some runs the mines, right? Yeah, he has 3 of these, so I think you don't have the right not to play them as Phoenix because like you have so many Shugen just now. Yeah, I agree with you, Jero. Like you probably don't have a choice. Like you have. Sage is going to deny 1 Paragon action, but there are 4 conflicts. So with 3 Paragons, you can still like get them firing anyway. If you put a Paragon in each conflict, the Sage is going to get you out of 1, and then you put the Paragon back in another one. Yeah, Kudeka and the library are going to help. I mean, but even then, like they're going to help once or twice, and the Paragon are going to really, really be a problem if you can have all 3 running. Shigeru is quite an awkward play. Like I'm not too happy about that. I think it's not a super good card. What you could do is just like hoping to get the clouds. You bid 5 and you cloud those paragons, and then you're pretty happy about it because it's a huge investment for your opponent and they are not blocked. Like the game plan of the Crane relies a lot around discarding cards from the opponent's hands. So if you can just cloud all those paragons, you're pretty fine. Crane being on Scorpion Splash also means that the clouds are going to stay around, even if they might be called in favor. That's probably not very good. So Phoenix is playing preemptively on its fan, and we see the same on the Crane Splash. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't. Yeah, you have free fate characters, so you want that fun to be played before it's discarded. So you want Paragon action to kick as late as possible compared to the actions you want to perform before the Paragon kicks in. The Paragon action kicks in. But yeah, I'm really not sure about that because playing the fan also means that the Paragon trigger might hit something more important. At the same time, it's on a free fate character against a political clan, so well, we can argue that Crane has become a lot more military oriented than it was in the past. Two Fate Ring with the Shigeru, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's the right call because the Water Ring isn't really interesting. You you need to break that because if you keep going back to fertile fields and you don't break it, then you're like kind of working against your own game plan. Like you're trying to discard cards from your opponent's hand and you're having them drawing cards from fertile fields. Like well, you could try to do that so that he gets to recycling its conflict and get minus 500 really quickly. I guess it's a strategy, but like okay, defending with Kudaka, sending back, yeah, yeah, that's just giving him two cards on a fate. Yeah, that airing choice was actually not good one. I totally forgot about the Xatoshi Master. About the fact that he could defend with the Kudaka and just send back both home. Because like no, you technically exchanged two fate against a fate, two cards and a ring. Like I guess your opponent is pretty happy about that. I would be pretty happy about that. And especially this Kudaka could be against the waves. So I think there's one in this card. So if he needs, he can like stun her during the next conflict. So what do you do here as Phoenix? Like, do you want to attack or do you prefer like I think as Phoenix right now, if you're just like stalling the conflicts, you're fine because the Crane board has more fate than yours, so they will lose more than you every turn. Um, at the same time, yeah, it also means that you will get less cards discarded from your hand. So I think you're passing that conflict, right? Yeah, 5 fires. Yeah, that's also a way to do it, definitely. So I guess now you go water because now Crane is in an awkward position. Like he has two guys that could be bought from the water ring, and both of those would like to be alone in a conflict, and that's going to be a problem because you want to defend with both, or they're gonna get bought from the water ring if you don't get it. So the best line here for Crane would be defend with only one and successfully defend the water ring. With the shameful, that might happen. I disagree with putting. Oh yeah, he has the fan. He has the fan kit, the fan katana. So yeah, maybe because it's military. Yeah, yeah, okay, definitely good. So you bet 5 against 1. I guess you successfully defend that ring. You get a card discarded, and then you get another card discarded from the other Paragon of Grace. That 5 fires was really good, I think. Like it hits. Oh, okay. The Ninos. So now you're gonna get bowed. Like your second Paragon of Grace is going to get bowed. Unless you have answers to that, you still have 9 cards, so it's totally possible that you have something to put. But like, no, you really don't want to put like an additional attachment on that Paragon because like, he's leaving play at the end of the turn anyway. So Shameful evens out and the attacker is losing. We might see a charge there. Like that's what this walking the way is for, I guess. Finding a charge target. Yeah, and there comes the Fushisho. Fushisho is gonna get charged. And once he will leave, he will be replaced by I don't know why, because there isn't too much interesting things there. Maybe a Mia Mystic just to get rid of the Ornate fan, or maybe the Ishika to try to get some. Oh, or you can just like go for the Naive Students and draw a card with it. Yeah, yeah, you can put the Scholar and draw a card with it. Yeah. Yeah, there isn't any great options, but there is a little bit of flexibility, so that's not too bad either. Like you could decide that you're gonna want the Earth Ring next turn if he has two fates, so you could take the Scholar. You could decide that you want to draw. Like there is some relevant choices, even though there isn't a very good target. Agree about that. Yeah, I don't see how you defend that as a Crane. No, maybe you defend the break, but I'm not even sure about that. Like I don't maybe a bonsai if Crane has one. Don't remember if he has. No, it doesn't. So yeah, if he has a gossip, it's been a mistake not to gossip the charge after the walking the way, because the walking the way kind of telegraphed the charge, and you saw the fishy show. So if you had the gossip, you would play it, which also kind of tells the Phoenix player that Crane doesn't have gossip here and doesn't have voice either. Oh wait, sorry, voice is off. Apologies. There is Kuneka Onward. Forgot about her. Yeah, it doesn't sound good for the Crane player. And we see another walking the way. Yeah, that's good because now it does have a good option for the Fushisho. Like a Tsunami replacing Fushisho is going to be good next turn, I guess. Yeah, it's maybe not the best option because you're gonna be first player and Water as a first player is a bit less uncertain, but it could still work as your for your second conflict. So both Paragons leaving is really good for Phoenix, and it's happening at a time where the hand size are still total. I was going to say pretty equal, but they're actually like still totally equal. Yeah, that's it. You don't really. I don't think he's paying a bet and Stouch. No, he isn't. That would have been like the only case where the Azunami first conflict would have been fine. Yeah. It's still worth bowing Shigeru. I agree about that. No Bentens, no. If you play Azunami, I think it's good to have like a one of Bentens because it's just making your first conflict water a bit better. And given that you play 3 times Uona, it also like it's one more enabler for you Uona. Not that you don't have enough though, you have all the working the ways and the clouds, but it's always that. It's just a bit more stability. Yeah, I think Crane there is in a very sad position. Why did you play the Brush Samurai? The other Paragon of Grace, but like and that one gets clouded and you're like super sad. Okay, Toshimoko. Yeah, I guess that's good because now Kudaka cannot go into a conflict. But Phoenix is just going to keep playing characters. Yeah, he knows Crane has to answer that because otherwise the board disparity is too wide. Which means he gets the passing fate. So like you're up on board, up on break, up on fate. Cards are even. You're up because of the Forgotten Library, but okay, Phoenix decided to be the one. That's interesting. I'm not sure about that. Like do you really need to be the one here as Phoenix? You have 2 breaks against 0. You have a board and he doesn't. Yeah, I guess it keeps the Sage online, but I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. You can replay cards from the discard with Kidonizawa. I guess it's yeah. You've got a consume that you could replay. Are we going to see that consume replayed? I think if we do, oh yeah, I think that's the correct play. Like you just consume, right? Crane can't cancel that, so you just consume again. Even if he duels, he can't because like there is Kudeka Kudeka is an odd. So yeah, you can't even if you duels. I think you just consume. Yeah, like it's just five perfect fates on long run investment characters. Just play it. Like you've got five fate, you've got literally no reason not to play it. Because you took the Earth ring, you can also decide to wait for your next conflict actually. My ancestor of strength to get that break. Yeah, I guess that's good. But then you can't play the five fires this conflict anymore. You could the next one anyway because Crane is going to take one of the two fated rings, and then you will have your next conflict. You just bow whatever attacks for Crane. The five fires in your discard, so it's pretty safe from anything. Yeah, Crane would need to win Fire Ring plus a draw to be able to cancel that five fires, which could happen now. But you can also like get a ring from. I think Crane Crane doesn't have a choice here. Like if he hits a Void province, then it gives you the five fire. So I think Crane has to go back to Fertile Fields, and I think that's really awful because like it's just going against your game plan all the game. Like you're giving Phoenix cards. That's really bad. Do you defend that as Phoenix? Yeah, of course you do. Kudeka, I guess? She's at she's at 7 political. I guess yeah, you just put her in the conflict. Crane might honor and would be at 7, but you've got the favor, so you're at 8. You might actually also put okay, Phoenix decides not to defend. That's telling a display of power, right? Because like in no world you want not to defend that fertile field that the Crane player keeps attacking, giving you cards. So yeah, I think it's just because you have the display. So you're gonna give him the break and display that ring. Oh, sorry, I'm stupid. You just used the Storm School bow. Yeah, that's what happened. Sure. I know Crane feels super sad because like yeah, totally forgot about that Solemn School, and I think the Crane player also did. So now we see a Meek Informant. That's the last fate. He sells the hand, but like I mean that's not bringing him very valuable information right now. There are cards about which he can't do anything. Uh, you lost a fate. Oh yeah, he clouded Shigeru. Okay. I don't think that was smart, because like no you can't fire no you can't fire fires anymore, right? That's a bit sad. Like that's really sad actually. Like you're gonna get that four fate in the perfect dream situation to play the five fires. Yeah, I agree, Jero. The consume would have won the game. Like I think that cloud was a huge mistake from the Phoenix player. Like you just let that ring fire. If you don't defend, he cannot duel, so he cannot honor something. I really think that's a mistake. Like you were not going to play a card anyway, so why clouding him? Because now you can't consume anymore. Yeah, that's sad, super sad. Because like you consume here, and next turn the crown player has like literally no board with no fate advantage, like literally zero fate. Yeah, he might be trying to go for the break that turn. I agree. It's the stronghold. Yeah, yeah, but then you still don't need to cloud that guy. I mean, it's you're just using a, if you defend, if you don't defend that conflict against Shugiru, and you're not going to play any card, so just don't cloud him. Well, yeah, Kudaka can be in a conflict. She's been stacked by Takamori. Yeah, blocked by the big chicken baby. Like that outfit is absolutely terrible. Which daimyo would feel happy about being clothed this way? I mean, it's the new Crane fashion. He's trying to start a new trend, but it's really not that good. Oh, okay, so now we see Way of the Crane and the voice is on. Well, I guess it enables the fight. Oh no, it doesn't because he had no one node. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's weird. Why on the Paragon? Because of the effect, I guess, but he's not alone in the conflict, so that doesn't work. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, on Takamori it would have made like much more sense. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jinzo. I saw the Honor token before, and I thought it was before the effect of the voice. I just brain farted in that one. So yeah, playing the Ishikin initiates. Um, doesn't even care that it has to pay 2 for it because I had so many fates. Not sure Crane can do anything about that. Like, yeah, it's still 9 cards, but we haven't seen the Storm. We have My Ancestor Strength with a Fushicho in the discard. Like, that would be a +5 in the conflict. Oh well, okay, that explains the voice on the way off on the Parangon, but yeah, I agree. It's My Ancestors on the initiate, but no, it might be cancelled because of the voice. Why 8/8? Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, it's the base strength that is modified, right? So you would, yeah, you would give him +6/+6. Yeah. Yeah, I just totally forgot that it was not just adding up to 6, but just change the base strength to 6. And then you have the 2 claimed rings that bring it to 8. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess he's playing the deck, so that's a good thing for him, I would say. Yeah, that has been a very quick game. It's a bit weird that Crane didn't had a console. Yeah, I guess he played the voice just for the stats, but yeah. Yeah, that My Ancestors deck strength really has legs. Like I've seen it played in Birmingham by a few people, quite good people, and it's definitely impressive. We've been quite dismissing about the Bustling Academy at first because like Scholar were not that interesting. I mean, good Scholars to put in your deck were not that numerous, but there is obviously enough of them so that the deck is efficient and appealing to play. Well, thank you very much for watching the game and have a nice evening.